FYF Sports, man. I've been trying to take it easy on Hakeem, man. Y'all didn't notice. I didn't tell a lot of you guys this, man. But I've been trying to withhold a lot of this information about Hakeem Olajuwon for a long time now. And mainly because, outside of Hakeem Olajuwon, the 90s would be complete garbage. And he's the only thing that's given the 90s really any credibility outside Michael Jordan. So I was talking yesterday. I was talking to some guys on Ticket TV's channel. And they asked me about Hakeem Olajuwon once again. Now, again, you guys know every time people ask me about the question, I'm shaking my head. I'm like, Jesus, again, we're talking about it again. So again, I'm not the one continuously bringing this up. I'm not continuously bringing it up. This has been forced on to me multiple times. So what I'm going to do now is, and Jacob Jennings, I got you. I'm going to explain it to you. And again, this is going to hurt a lot of y'all deeply. No, I'm not trolling. Robert the Apostle. This is not trolling. I'm going to put a link in the chat as well. Again, I just got to get this out there first. But all you guys can all come in the chat because, again, I know this is like this is like a stab in the heart for many of you guys, especially if you're 90s fans. And what you have to understand is if you're 90s fans, Hakeem is your only hope to keep that 90s era credible. But the information that I have on LeBron, all-seeing eye, is not trolling. This is facts. And if you want to come in and try to debunk me, please make sure you have your facts on hand because I got some extreme facts on hand. No trolling, extreme factual details. Because remember, my whole entire premise on Hakeem has been that he was a good player. See, I've taken it easy on him. He's a great player, and if he were supplanted into our era, if somehow he jumped into this era of basketball, people always ask me, what do I think he would do? Everybody wants me to say Hakeem would score 50, 20 rebounds and be unstoppable, when that's not the case. And the only reason I continuously say that is because of the information that I have about Hakeem that most people either have access to and try to hide, right? And I've taken it easy on Hakeem. I've done a lot of videos on 90 centers, and I haven't exposed these details because, again, I don't want to hurt the hearts of y'all 90s fans because y'all don't have much to hold on to. But I have something that's called, if a lot of you guys don't know what it is, I have something that's called synergy stats. And what synergy stats are? Synergy stats are a tracking system. It tracks a player. And this is what a lot of scouts in the NBA use. A lot of scouts use something called synergy. This is how game plans are drafted. This is how you know whether to push a player right or left. This is how you know the probability of a player pulling up off any particular drive. How well do they score off the pick and roll? Can they defend the pick and roll? This is how you pick up a player's tendencies on things, on what they can do well and what they can't do well. This is how the Dallas Mavericks were able to essentially eliminate LeBron James from the NBA Finals and make him useless because they use synergy stats to put him in the worst position possible on the offensive end of the court, essentially making him useless. So what I'm going to do before I expose the stats, I'm going to open the chat line up because what I want to do is I'm going to bring you guys in, and I just want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear what you have to say. And then once you guys get your emotions out of the way, I'm just going to have to break you down with the actual facts of what really was going on with Hakeem Olajuwon in the 1990s. So let's go ahead and drop the link. So we're going to get this link in here. Hold on. Boop. And I want to see who is the first that's going to step up to take this ether, man. Who's going to be first? And I know Mahari, Sports Nation, podcast, man. Make sure you guys go check out Mahari, man. This is one of my favorite. I'm not. This is no jokes aside. Mahari is actually one of my favorite YouTubers, man. This guy's consistent, and I can see this guy's channel really blowing up. So because he's sticking to his niche, and he's doing this thing. So I really appreciate it. Hey, and we got our first Cash App of the day, man. Jacob Jennings, man, big time supporter of this channel, big time supporter of all of our channels. LB, Too Raw, everybody, man. He supports Ticket, man. So I really appreciate, man. Again, because you guys don't understand, man. Doing these live chats and posting these videos, when you're looking at LB, Mahari, some of these guys are working jobs. It's not easy. It's a lot of work that's involved, man. So again, salute to Jacob Jennings, man. Been a big contributor to the channel. Let's go ahead and Raul, I see you in there. I'm going to get you in there, but I got to systematically go ahead and break Mahari Nation down. And it's unfortunate, but I just got to do it. How you doing, Mahari?
Break me down, right? Man, get out of here, bro. But how you doing, Lamont Lane?
Good, man. So let me go ahead and let Raul in. Now, I need you to explain to me, like, what about the title of my video? What was I incorrect about?
Okay. I will tell you this, why I believe that you lost your whole basketball card when you bring my set of the King was overrated, bro. Like, listen, bro, listen. I will tell you this, okay? When Hakeem was drafted in 85, okay? Was it 80? Yeah, 85. Now, listen. The consensus of that time is that you needed a dominant big man to contend for a championship. It wasn't before Michael Jordan changed the norm, okay? But if the King didn't win those two championships, then we would have said that the Rockets messed it up by drafting him over Michael Jordan. Except the fact that the Blazers drafted Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan, but that's a different story. But listen, Hakeem Olajuwon, after 86, when they made it the NBA Finals with Ralph Sampson, what happened after that, right? They didn't even make it past the second round for over the next 5 to 6 seasons, right? Because he didn't have the talent around him to really get himself over the hump. And people forget this. The Rockets did every single underhanded tactic to cut away from the talent that Hakeem had. And it took him a long time before the early 90s when he basically had Sam Cassell, Robert Horry, Otis Thorpe, Kenny Smith, Vernon Maxwell, and them boys that helped them get over the hump in 94 and 95. Now, look, do I think that Hakeem Olajuwon could dominate, today's basketball? I do, but there is some glaring weakness to this. Number one, the emphasis on the three-point shot. Now, Hakeem is a great defender in his own right, okay? But the diverse of centers that you see in today's basketball, right? That guys that can shoot the ball or take it to the basket against you, I can see Hakeem maybe having some troubles with that because one thing I know about Hakeem was watching him play is that if you're a big man that can basically put the ball on the floor and attack him, you can basically beat Hakeem off the dribble in terms of that. Okay, now listen. Hakeem Olajuwon was a great player and perhaps top 10 in my book, because what Hakeem was able to do was utilize his teammates better by basically letting the double team come and pass it out of the double team. Now, before, when he didn't have shooters, he had to take more of the offensive responsibility because he had nobody that he could trust to spread the floor and shoot the ball. It wasn't until Rudy Tomjanovich came in and taught him how to pass out of double teams. That's why I believe that he's still one of the greatest centers in the game. All right, but to say that he's overrated based off of what? Off of the fact that he had to score a lot because he had nobody around him. I mean, come on, you guys. You got to look at historical facts here and what the roster was at that time. You can't just simply say like, oh, he scored a lot because he was basically the ultimate stat pattern. But what he had around him that made him do that? All right. If you think that he's a stat pattern, why is he a stat pattern? I would like to know, but I'm gonna hold myself back and listen to the facts because I know Lamont Lane's got something and I'm gonna try to refute that.
Now
I'm ready too.
I love that, man. This is everything you said was everything that I expected. And so when I say stat pattern, it's not me. Again, it's not me that called him a stat pattern. it was his teammates and it was his coaches from the 90s, who a lot of his coaches in a documentary that was done talked about how much of a cancer he really was to that team. And one of the things that he was criticized heavily for was being a stat pattern, saying that he played for his stats. They said it was one of the reasons why they had 9 first-round playoff exits when he played. There was a reason why they got swept 4 times in the playoffs.
Right.
And 6 of those were blowouts. So he said a lot of this was attributed to the fact that Hakeem, and again, there's off the court, Hakeem was a great person. And again, this is on the court stuff. And this is what his teammates and the front office had to say about him, about his game. And they said this is one of the reasons. It even went as far, it even went as far to where they considered trading Hakeem for Reggie Lewis.
Yeah, they did.
They considered trading him. That's how much of a headache he started to be. Now a lot of people don't know that. They looked at a trade for Reggie Lewis. He was over in Boston. They looked at a trade for Brad Daugherty because they were trying to get off of him because of how much of a cancer he was starting to be. It got so bad. I think it was 92. It got so bad that they actually had to suspend Hakeem because he was faking injuries. The team doctor had cleared him to play for weeks. Hakeem was mad about something in his contract, so he faked injuries. And so the team had to suspend him indefinitely. And this is not one time. He's done this, I think, 2 or 3 times in his career where he faked injuries because he was upset about something with the team. I think that's extremely petty. Now, again, that's not necessarily basketball related, but that type of mindset goes to show why he didn't have a lot of playoff dominance or a lot of success in the NBA outside of the 2 years where he won those 2 championships when Jordan did retire. Now, again, that's all subjective stuff. Like that's stuff that, you can take it with a grain of salt. You might not care because it's behind the scenes. You may care because, again, this is how we pick LeBron apart about a lot of the stuff, the shady stuff that he does behind the scenes. And again, you have to look at it in its entirety. But I also have statistical data that shows, again, so the statistical data that I have only shows that he would struggle in this era. And in that era, the rules were perfectly tailored towards him defensively. And that's why I call him the best defensive player of the 90s because of the rules. With no defensive 3 seconds, he was able to camp in the lane. He didn't really come out the lane much. And he was able, and again, because he was also guarding a center, and centers in the 90s really didn't leave the paint. The illegal defense rule didn't affect him. The legal defense rule, you essentially had to be basically within 3 feet of your man at all times.
Yeah, that's true.
So because he was guarding a center who was planted in the post the whole time, he was always rim protecting on anybody who drove. So he was always going to be a great weak side defender because big men in the 90s didn't go out to the 3-point line, which is my case was in this era when you have bigs who are going to go out to the 3-point line, he couldn't just, and with the defensive 3-second rule, he can't just camp there in the lane. He can't. And you have to understand that that's not a criticism towards his game. That's the rules affecting his game, just like the rules affected Shaq's game. And because we never saw him have to cover so much ground on the court. We never seen him have to close out on the 3-point shooter and then sprint back to the rim to rim protect. We never saw that. So we don't know how good he can do it. But the only thing that I can use to prove his efficiency are my synergy stats. And my synergy stats show from a period of 1990 to 1999, his defensive field goal percentage, whenever he guarded any player beyond the 3-point line, they scored 49% of the time. That's extremely high percentage. So for Hakeem, the few times where he actually did guard beyond the 3-point line, synergy stats from 1990 to 99 show that he was scored on 49% of the time. He was not a great defender at the 3-point line. Outside of 15 feet, they scored 59%. So again, the closer you bring Hakeem to the basket, the better he is defensively because of his length, because of his height. But beyond 15 feet, beyond the 3-point line, he showed no defensive intangibles that can make me believe he could guard on the perimeter and guard players in this era. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you pick up Mahari because I know you want to be front of that.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me tell you this though right now, okay? Now, I will tell you this. I will agree with you on this, okay? I think Hakeem would have struggled a bit guarding against a big guy that can shoot the ball from long range, because what you see in today's basketball is this. It's more open court scoring, but more importantly, you got big guys that are now looking to shoot the ball from the outside or beat you off a pump fake and take you off the dribble a bit. I do agree with you on that particular point, because I think that a lot of the centers in the 90s, maybe with the exception of David Robinson, who had really good foot speed, that could have issues with that. But here's my argument to this, okay? My argument is that, listen, how can you say that he could struggle? He might struggle from that when he didn't have to do it, because basically the rules at that time didn't have to let him go guard on the outside. Because remember, illegal defense is basically, you got to guard your man that is on the ball. You can't guard a specific area. And during that time, Hakeem was allowed to camp into the paint and pretty much be the weak side defender. You can only do so much to what the rules are presented to you, which I would say that that Hakeem Olajuwon was the best defender of that particular point in time. He didn't have to face against a big man that could shoot from long range. The only exception maybe was Arvydas Sabonis, later on. But remember, Arvydas Sabonis had bad knees and everything else. So it would have not worked out too well for him. But if he had to face against Arvydas Sabonis, who was healthy in his prime, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, people forget Arvydas Sabonis was much more of a dominant force. And if he wasn't hurt, if the Soviet Union didn't mess around with him and start playing fucking politics, all right. And sorry if I swore, but listen, if they weren't playing politics of Cold War politics during that time and allowed Sabonis to rest up his knees, I'm telling you, I'm just saying, I'm telling you, the NBA would have had a problem with him. They would have had a huge problem with him. And I think that he would have stopped Hakeem from winning one of those championships, because Sabonis can shoot from the outside. He can pass, all right, from the high post. He could basically beat you. He could basically work inside in the post too, right? And his defense was very underrated too. People forget he used to lead the international globe in block shots. Very underrated defender. But back to the subject in hand here. I personally think that my argument to that is that, listen, you can only play the rules that are basically presented to you, and you can only play the opposition that's really out in front of you. And the centers during the 90s weren't looking to shoot from the outside. Patrick Ewing was basically a mid-range shooter, but there were times when Patrick Ewing was kept missing jump shots, right? So how can you say that? Oh, I think Hakeem would have been struggling about that if he didn't have to do it, if he didn't actually have to do it. That's the counter argument.
Okay, so I like that, and that's why I held off on some of the stats, because I knew that argument is always going to be thrown in. You didn't have to do this in this era, so that's why I held off on two really key stats. So I said he was a great rim protector, and that's one thing I can't take away from him. At the rim, within 3 feet of the rim, players shot, according to Synergy Stats from 1990 to 99, players shot 17% against Hakeem Olajuwon from 0 to 3 feet to the rim. He was essentially unstoppable defensively within 3 feet of the rim. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the next part, because I know he guarded within 10 feet of the rim. Mid-range shots taken within 10 feet of the rim on Hakeem Olajuwon, and this might hurt y'all, but players score 67% of the time. And again, we know that's where he lived, within 10 feet to 0 feet from the rim. That's where Hakeem Olajuwon lived. I'll give you the 15 feet and beyond at the three-point line. I'll give you that, because we know that style of play wasn't necessarily popular. In the 90s, a lot of people forget, the 90s was really predicated on iso ball because of the illegal defense. Because of illegal defense, guys could not help. And when help came, it was too late. This is one of the reasons why the Detroit Pistons had to clobber Michael Jordan, because by the time they got there, the only thing they really could do to him was knock him to the ground. And like there was no real help defense. I mean, and if you and so with the illegal defense, there, I mean, if you look at guys like Tracy McGrady, Tim Duncan, they were all they quoted in Slam magazine saying that don't bring in the zone. Jordan quoted, don't bring in the zone, because Jordan actually pleaded with the league not to bring in the zone because he said it's going to take away from the highlights and the individual statistical stats that players could accomplish. That's what Jordan said. If you don't believe me, just go look it up. So illegal defense limited a lot. And without the defensive 3-second rule, Hakeem was able to live at the rim. And the style of play of the 90s, with guys constantly attacking the rim, trying to drive, actually benefited him because he became one of the best defenders. He was the best rim protector of the 90s, better than Mutombo, better than Alonzo Mourning, better than a lot of those guys. He did struggle in pick and roll defense. A lot of people say he didn't. He struggled in it. This is why Utah Jazz gave him a lot of problems.
And same with the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, but that too. But what I'm saying is, what do we see in this league now? We see 5 to 6 pick and rolls on every possession almost. If the early shot is not even taken. So my beef with Hakeem is this. And again, I'm not knocking him for what he did in the 90s because statistically he was great in the 90s, although his teammates don't feel that way. But I think if you bring him into this era, he would struggle mightily because he can't guard 10 feet beyond the rim. And that's not me taking a guess. His stats in the 90s show that. And with me as being a scout, I'm using my scout's mind. It's not my job to predict what a player can do. It's my job to assess what he does on the court. And what he's done on the court shows me that he can't guard beyond 10 feet from the basket. You can say he has all the quickness, that JaVale McGee has all the quickness and athleticism. He can't guard 10 feet beyond the rim. He's not a great perimeter defender, even with all of those, with all the athleticism and length. So all of that really is irrelevant. You can say he has great footwork and great foot speed. That helps you offensively, but defensively, it didn't help Hakeem in the 90s, and it wouldn't help him in this era when you're dealing with players who are bigger, faster, and stronger. What you got to say, Matt Hart?
Boy. You did. I'll say you presented a very, very good argument, but I'm going to refer to something that is actually very prevalent here. Okay. Now, I will tell you this, okay? When it comes to his teammates, you have to ask who were his teammates during that time that was saying stuff about him. Now, listen, I get that. I was going to say about the Rockets during that time, okay? There were people, and listen, there were a lot of times when the Rockets did him no favors to help him win championships. Why do you think he had to basically do a lot more than what people call stat padding? Now, listen, the Rockets did nothing for him during that early part of his career. Listen, after going to the finals in '86, what happened, right? You stripped him of the talent that basically got him there. Then Ralph Sampson injured his knee, but basically shortened his career, right? And pretty much after that, who did he had on the court that he could trust, right? Who did he had on the court that he could trust to really help him out? Because only one player cannot carry an entire team for that long. I mean, in the NBA, it's just physically impossible, right? The bottom line is simply this, though, guys. Who would be making these kind of accusations, right? And listen, I read some of the stuff about when Hakeem was wanting to get traded. He was very, very close to getting traded. I've heard that the Lakers were trying to make a push to get Hakeem for James Worthy and Vlade Divac in 91 or 92. I'm not sure which year was that, but it was real. They were very close to trading him, but here's the thing. Thankfully it never happened because it would have been a bad situation for Hakeem mentally if he would have been traded out of Houston. That's just what I kind of think about it. Now, in terms of my scout mind, here's how I would analyze about Hakeem. Okay, if you had to ask Hakeem to guard a guy that's basically outside of the perimeter, the only thing you would try to do is tell Hakeem, listen, I don't want you to guard against a big guy that can beat you off the dribble. All right, just show out, try to hold him up for a few minutes, and then basically rotate back to your own man, right? Now, look, Hakeem is very good at the mid-range run, and I had to counter, and I need to counter back to somebody in the chat that say up y'all that's saying that Ewing was the best big man shooter. No, he wasn't, right? Let me tell you something. Patrick Ewing go back to that '94 NBA Finals.
I'm being patient too. I'm being patient.
You're good, man. You know, man, you're good.
No. Somebody was saying on the private chat that I will be patient. I'm extremely patient right now.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good, man. You're good, man. I'm sorry, bro. I had to get at Lamont Lane about this. Listen,
no problem.
Patrick Ewing was outscored throughout the entire series against Hakeem Olajuwon. So don't give me that saying that he was the best big man shooter in the game when he had nights where he shot 9 for 25, 10 for 30. Or maybe 7 for 25. He was the reason why the Knicks lost the '94 Finals because Ewing was not aggressive and didn't play above his capability to get them over the hump. You know what I'm saying? That's why Charles Oakley had to get back at it. That basically said what he had to say about Patrick Ewing. Why the Knicks didn't get over the hump? Because Patrick Ewing did not elevate his play in critical moments. But that's a different subject. I gotta say I'm subject here.
Okay.
Here's
Raul, let's hear. Hold on, let's hear from Raul because I know he's been itching to say something.
Yeah, he's been itching. I'm gonna let him speak.
I'm just curious to see how he's going to debunk the actual numbers because the numbers don't lie, especially synergy numbers. And you know, like I said, go ahead, Raul, man. I'm just curious to see what you got to say.
I have a series of questions before
okay.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So with who? I have a list of things that to ask you, but before that. With who other centers are you comparing Olajuwon? Forget about the new era. Down there, in that era, what will be the competitors of Olajuwon back then? Before I give you my thing, if you can, please.
Well, I'm not comparing them to any center in the 90s because I have them as the best center of the 90s.
Okay, wait a second.
Right?
Good, excellent. That's good. That's good. So you said, I'm just basing myself on the title, okay? You say Hakeem the Fraud Olajuwon. The era great NBA center was led by the ultimate stat father. Okay, so, and I hear you saying a lot of arguments compared to this era. So look what you're doing right now. You are saying that he was bad defending the three in an era where the three wasn't necessary, okay? The ultimate thing back then that was 2000 up or 2005, whatever it is, okay. So Olajuwon do not need to defend the 3-point back then. So number two, the argument that this guy have outside court issues and blah blah blah, for me personally that become irrelevant. Why? Because he delivers. Okay, at the end, what we want, you deliver. It's like Michael Jordan back then. That guy was, having issue and, fighting with everybody else and blah, 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 blah. But the guy delivers. Okay. Number three, why diminish Hakeem with a what if? Okay. Why with a what if? Because you say he's a fraud. So if it's a fraud, it's based on what he did and what he have the capability in front of you. And you are a scout. So if you are a scout, then I will ask you something later now, okay? So compare it to a good defending center, like what? Like Rudy Gobert in this era, right? Compare it to Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert have 2 defensive player of the year, right? Is he a good center and he's working on this era right now? So you will telling me right now that Hakeem Olajuwon will not be 10 times better than Rudy Gobert? Okay, that's another one. So number 5, sorry. You're saying you're comparing back then with today. So I have this even written. You will not be comparing Hakeem because you scout mind that you just said that you're employing, okay, will be thinking on 1995 Lamont. So Lamont in 1995 will be praising objectively based on what you were seeing back then to Hakeem Olajuwon. Lamont to 1995. I'm not saying Lamont 25 years later. Okay, Lamont 1995 will be praising you based on what you were seeing right there and the information that you were receiving. So for me to call him a fraud, and I'm not even going into a statistics profoundly, but just based on the fact that I'm saying that I just said right now, is that thing is wrong, man. That's thing
okay.
Without getting in a statistic. If I go there, aside the only statistics that you're saying, which is defending the triple line, which was irrelevant back then, was irrelevant based on the amount of volume that was necessary to win a game back then. Okay, compared to now, it's almost 50 or 60% of the points you're getting on the 3-point compared to 2, right? More or less. Back then, we're talking about 75% on 2s, right? Yes or
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. How much more or less? More or less.
Now if we're talking about if you're talking about centers scoring at the rim on them, that he was good 0 to 3 feet from the rim, he was great. Anything outside of that, he was bad.
Okay, I'm telling you this based on your statistic. How much points on a regular NBA in average was necessary on 2 points versus 3 points?
No. So what I'd like to compare is
because you put 49% defending the 3-point line.
No, this is what I compare. So the average defensive field goal percentage for centers in the 90s, all right? The average defensive field goal percentage for centers from the 90s from 10 to 15 feet from the rim. Let me pull it up here. I just had it.
Yeah.
So the average was 44%.
Okay. And he has?
Hakeem from 10 feet to 15 feet allowed 67% field goal percentage. That's far above the league average. Now, again, we know when we see, because we're not now, when we start talking about inside of 15.
That can be a little bit deceiving. What about the amounts? What about the amounts?
Hold on, but one thing we know, and all you have to do is watch. All you have to do is watch how the Rockets played. Hakeem Olajuwon lived right inside the free throw line. That's where he was most active.
Yes,
he really did not leave the paint at all on defense. And all you have to, and again, if you don't believe me, all you have to do is just go watch a few clips.
No, but that's okay. But it works.
No, but it works. No, that's we can only assume that it worked because of the label that we've given them. But again, and I want to go back to something that you said about.
He delivers, yes or not? That's my question.
But I want to go back to, and again, that's arguable because I want to go back to something that you said.
He won 2-time champion. He won MVP. He was defensive player of the year. When all those centers have the same advantages that you just mentioned.
But so his defensive player of the year, see, when he won defensive player of the year, he improved all of those numbers in that single season. That's one of the reasons why he won.
On those 2 seasons, then.
When he won defensive player of the year, his numbers, all of these defensive field goal percentages.
He was one defensive player of the year.
He had one. But when he won defensive player of the year, all of those numbers that I told you were drastically lower. So he played defense at a much higher clip. And this goes to show you why. And this was a statement that was made in 1993 by an executive with Houston. An executive with the Houston Rockets in 1993 during Hakeem's dominance. He said he was a selfish head case that faked injuries while missing playoffs. And he said he threw his teammates and coaches under the bus. He cried during the Olympics when he wasn't getting touches. And he just went on a long diatribe. And there's just different.
Who say that?
It just said, all it says is a former executive of the Houston Rockets.
That's blah blah blah. When somebody is not allowed to put his face.
But what I'm saying is
totally. I dismiss that. Totally.
I don't necessarily. I don't think the Chicago Tribune would put out fake news. but they potentially could have. I can only go with what was put out there. Now, again, that's all subjective.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, correct.
That's subjective. You can take that any way you want, but the numbers don't lie. And again, this is not me. It's like, y'all got to understand, this is not me comparing Hakeem to the 90s. This argument was brought to me. They said, well, what if you bring Hakeem to this era? What would he do? And then when I gave my opinion, I was criticized for my opinion. But a lot of these people don't know my opinion was formulated just based off what he's done in his career. And again, what he's done in his career, the only thing that
he will be different. He will be totally different.
Hold on. Raul, you know that.
Like we don't know exactly. Like we don't know. Like we don't know.
The only thing I can judge him off of is how he performed doing these things. Like he rarely guarded the 3-point line in the 90s. But when he did guard the 3-point line, he was terrible at it. Okay. So
I give you that.
Would he be better in this era? I don't know. So the percentages show probably.
So how many? You know, that's another thing that I always look at the statistics. At the statistics, I look in the percentage, but I see how many or how much, how many times. Because
but that's why I said this is from 1990 to 1999. So this is a large.
Again,
but this is a large sample size. This is from 1990 to 99.
The amount of years necessarily will not tell you a sample. Why? Because you can have from a big amount of years that somebody do not shoot three, and that guy take 10 threes a game, 5 threes a game. Hey,
I understand.
And same thing with the defensive. So if not much people are shooting to Olajuwon, and he allows a 63%, but he only allowed 2 or 3 threes. Who cares?
But Raul, I'm going to tell you this. Do you really believe he didn't contest a lot of shots within 10 feet of the rim? Do you really believe that?
Yeah, probably.
Hold on. Within 10 feet of the rim, he contested a lot of shots.
But
he had to defend a lot right there.
Especially I give you that, but I'm telling you this. Why, if it's based on what a lot of people are seeing back then, why he get 3 times first team defensive and of 3 or 4? 3, then 3 second team.
But so that was because
look for 7 years, that's being an extremely or a good defender.
No, that's because he had it. Hakeem had an extremely high percentage. It was called block percentage. His block percentage was high. Remember what I said? 0 to 3 feet from the rim.
Well, that's effective. Because if you allow,
I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that from you. I've already conceded to the fact that anything from 0 to 3 feet from the rim, he was unstoppable. Outside of 3 feet, he was not a great defender according to the percentages. Now, there could be a lot of factors that play into what was going on there.
And I don't have it right now. I don't have it in front of me, the synergy stuff, and I will get into it. In fact, I never used it, but I will sign up. I will sign up. I don't care. And just to you know, but I will bet you, even if without me seeing it, that if you compare the amount, okay, not the percentage, the amount that he conceded after the 15 feet to the 3-point line was way less than what he avoid. What he avoid on the inside. So, and at the end, when you summarize that, when you balance that, he was better defended than allowed. So I'm just guessing without seeing. But
Raul, this is why I did close to a 10-year sample size, because again, what 10 years will show you in the NBA, it will show you how consistent are you at one thing. Like Dennis Rodman, over a 10-year period, dominated the league in rebounding. He didn't just have one dominant year; he dominated a number of years. That's why we can conclude he was the best rebounder in NBA history, because at year after year after year, he did the same thing. Just like we don't have to look at the numbers, because there are players who have more rebounds than Dennis Rodman. But when we look at Rodman's year after year after year output, we see that he consistently averaged 15 rebounds a game.
I will ask you for one single sample. Can you look the worst season, not and your synergy stuff, how many attempts on one season on the worst?
I can't pull it up because that's on my work laptop, and my work laptop is separate from this, so I can't pull it up right here. But you know what? And that's something, you know what? That's something I may need to look into. But again, especially
because
when you're
pretty sure that a lot of statistic guys, and I'm one of them, can be deceived by a percentage. And when you see the amount, I'm telling you, when you see the amounts, okay, you can have a 75% allowance on the 3-point line, and you say, "Oh my God, this guy is terrible." But the guy on the paint is not allowing 25% by 15 times. But on the 3-point line, he allows 75%, but he allows only 5 times or four times. When you average everything, you have a very good defender.
But on synergy has a fault multiplier. A fault multiplier means that it's gonna give you the middle. It's not gonna give you the extreme either way. It like I said, it's like what synergy is set up to prevent what you're saying. It's hard to explain, but it's basically. I
don't think I think.
But I'll have to show you. We'll have to talk about it another day.
You can pull the stat. You can pull the stats by songs, and what I do sometimes just to verify numbers, I just dissect and do my own calcs and say, let me see what is the percentage. Oh my God, this guy is a +5 defending. So this guy is doing his work because he's stopping about 10 points and he's allowing 2 points, even if he's 75% on the other side. That's my take, but I
got you. Hold on, we got in the chat.
It's not a foul, in my opinion.
We got 317 RC. He says the paint. He says in the paint in today's game, Hakeem would give centers problems. Yes, I agree. Hakeem would give centers problems. Offensively, he had too many moves in his arsenal. He was unstoppable. Hold on, we got 3 new people in the chat. We haven't heard from Hebrew yet. I think this is his first time in the chat. How you doing, Hebrew?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
Not bad, man. What do you got on this, man? What do you think about Hakeem, man? Is my take flawed, or am I wrong, or what do you think?
I think you're telling the truth, man. And I've heard, didn't you say that, did you tell Ticket one day, I was tuning in, that you said that he would have won the 2 championships had Michael Jordan stayed in the league?
Yeah, I honestly believe that if Jordan didn't retire, Hakeem wouldn't have those 2 championships. Now, again, like Raul said, that's a what-if scenario. So we still have to give him the 2 championships. But at the end of the day, that when Jordan did retire, because the game started to become too easy, that opened the door for a lot of teams. And luckily, Hakeem was the player that stepped in and took advantage of that 2-year period.
Correct.
Oh, no,
Showtime, what you got, man?
And,
bro, like I told you, bro, that stuff never makes sense to me, bro.
What doesn't make sense?
Like your whole like just what you're trying to put together is not. I see what you're trying to do, bro. But
how am I trying to do anything?
You're not really. Hello, let me talk.
All right, let's go.
You're not putting the like context really into why he was only guarding the rim. First of all, bro, the game was much different back then than what it is to now. And then I asked you last night, Rahul said the same thing. I brought up Rudy Gobert last night. He brought up Rudy Gobert. Now you said Hakeem Olajuwon would be better than Rudy Gobert today, but you saying he wouldn't be as effective as he is, today. When Rudy Gobert out there won Defensive Player of the Year, he's playing a pretty good job playing defense in this era. So I'm not really getting what you're saying. And then you're bringing up the threes. Hakeem Olajuwon has hit 26 threes in his career, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a little more than that.
No, we're talking about defensive field goal percentage.
Okay, but you said defensive 3?
No. Defensive field goal percentage against the 3.
The 3, right? Okay, right. Again, it don't make completely sense, because when you think about this, what big man in the NBA today does a good job of guarding the 3? How many?
Okay, and Showtime, you're right. I conceded on that. So then I defaulted to what was going wrong with Hakeem's defense from 3 feet to 10 feet from the rim.
Which is the mid range, right?
No, that's very close to the rim. That's like floater type area.
I'm not really buying. I understand what you're saying. I understand you looking at, you're doing your research. You're looking at the numbers, this, that, and the third. But when I watched Hakeem Olajuwon, I watched his games and I watched it close enough to know that this dude can dominate on any era. And I really
I saw it too. That's what I'm talking.
The one thing that Hakeem showed, especially in this year he won Defensive Player of the Year, the one thing that he showed was when he had his mindset to playing defense, he could defend all over the court, but he wasn't consistent. He didn't consistently give that effort year in and year out. So when you say Rudy Gobert, I actually pulled Rudy Gobert's synergy numbers. His synergy numbers from the 3-point line to 15 feet to 10 feet, to 3 to 10 feet are all better than Hakeem's averages.
Yeah, but
now,
he's training in this era. He's training.
I understand that. So,
but I want you to think about this though.
Here's
I want
the
you to think about
difference,
this. Put it in context though. Was
gotta-
Rudy Gobert? Look, I want you to think about that. The centers, a lot of these centers today can't really score. You know what I'm saying? From at the rim, they shooters. So when they
That's
go
true.
to the rim, so I want you to think about this. They're not really good at scoring close to the rim. They're shooters. So you got somebody like Miles Leonard going to the rim against Rudy Gobert. What you think gonna do? What he gonna do? Versus Patrick Ewing. So I want you to think. You got to think about this too, though.
Vice versa, Rudy Gobert has to guard the 3-point line more, and players only shoot 27% from the 3-point line against Rudy Gobert.
But this is the thing. I'm not really buying. But you know for a fact though, Lamont, Hakeem Olajuwon is a better defensive player, Lamont. You can look at the numbers.
I'm not saying.
You can look at the numbers. I don't care about numbers.
I'm not saying Rudy Gobert's better.
The numbers don't always tell the full story. It's different reasons why. If we pull up the foot. I'm pulling up footage. I've watched multiple games.
Showtime. Y'all presented the question to me. The question that was presented to me was, if Hakeem played in this era, would he be dominant? And my answer was, I don't think he would be as dominant defensively because of the defensive 3 seconds, and the game is more spaced out. He would have to guard the 3-point line. And
okay, go ahead.
I'm saying according to his synergy stats, from 10 feet and beyond, he struggled to defend in the 90s. So I can only assume that from 10 feet and beyond in this era, where players are shooting a lot more jumpers, that he would have those same struggles because players are bigger, stronger, and faster, and they shoot the ball a lot more.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if those numbers apply to this area. You know why? Because of the way they play the game, the different system.
Correct.
He played at Rudy John. You know, what's that? Rudy John, whatever his name is. He played with him. I don't know his defensive facade. You know how he played, how he scripted his shit up versus somebody like what his name from the Utah Jazz, Quinn Snyder. See, I'm pretty sure they got two different ways they play team defense.
Correct.
Well, so
it was man to man.
Really.
The Rockets played man to man.
Right. So they play man to man. See, all those numbers. I want you to think about this. I'm gonna give a good example. And we was talking about this when the Rockets played the Lakers, right? Everybody was talking about, PJ Tucker numbers are great against Anthony Davis. But we saw what happened, right? We saw what happened on film.
Hold on, Showtime. That's what y'all said.
No, I'm telling you. I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you an example why those numbers can be mislead though.
No. PJ Tucker's numbers against AD are not great. That's a lie.
Yes, they are. It shows it. I saw it on ESPN. They had it on ESPN.
Okay.
You can pull it up. But at the game one, you know how ESPN do. At the game one, they'll say, look at his overall numbers. Anthony Davis did great. PJ Tucker did great.
If you're from one game,
they talking about his whole career. No. They talking about his whole career.
No, not according to his synergy stats. That was false.
Man, I don't know nothing about no synergy stats. I know what I saw.
I'm telling you, Lamont, could you give me that web page? I will kill synergy stat right now. Give me that.
No, you would have to log in because that's my.
Yeah, but what it is, I will pay for it. Synergy.
Hold on one second. Hold on. I'm gonna step away here in about 20 minutes. I'll grab it
Okay,
off
okay.
my
I
laptop.
I found the Synergy Sport Technology. Is that one?
I think so, but mine's is linked to the Phoenix Suns, so I don't know how you was.
Okay, got it.
Lamont, I want you to think about this too, Lamont. Think about this. It's another thing I want you to think about, right? What if, so let's say like this, Hakeem Olajuwon, those numbers, right? You say he don't do good guarding that, right? What if he had a great point guard? Give an example like Patrick Beverly, Kawhi Leonard,
He had
Paul
a
George. No. Listen what I'm saying. I'm talking about he playing in this era, and he was on the Clippers, right? That same team that can guard the perimeter. All they got to do is run guys out the 3-point line and force them to Hakeem. Those numbers gonna get completely erased because Hakeem Olajuwon gonna do a good job at guarding that 7-10 feet. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying he had mediocre defenders.
That's not how NBA offenses work, though.
But that's two different eras. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's two different eras.
But what I'm saying is this. Okay, so defensively in the 90s, here's the thing. With the legal defense, it was hard for any player on the court other than the center to actually play good help defense. So the fact that Hakeem Olajuwon was a great shot blocker is not surprising. He was extremely athletic, and coming from the weak side, he was almost always going to block your shot right at the rim because he was fast, he was quick off his feet, and 0 to 3 from the rim, he was elite. I give you that because the illegal defense didn't affect Hakeem. He could always be within 3 feet of his man and also be in great help position because centers didn't leave the post. Centers didn't leave the low post in the 90s. They didn't go out to the 3-point line like they do in this era. So he was always in great help defense. Now, in this era, he couldn't just stand under the rim. Why? Because of defensive 3 seconds, on top of the fact that a lot of centers in this league will go to the corner 3-pointer line and make him come out some. So that easy help defense, those easy rotations are not always going to be there for Hakeem because now he has to guard more space. And to say that he could do that when we know he struggled whenever he had to guard the 3-point line in the 90s or beyond 15 feet or beyond 10 feet, that is, I have to use that information. Now, again, don't take this as me saying Hakeem is a bad player. He's not a bad player. Hakeem is a great player in the 90s, but the 90s was designed with the illegal defense. The 90s was really designed to benefit all ISO players and to benefit all centers, especially defensively.
See, but that's how it was. But look at this too, Lamont. Look at somebody like Dwight Howard, bro. You remember they used to say, look, no lie. Some people used to say he couldn't guard the 3-point line. You gotta pick and roll them, do this, do that, bring them out. But I'm seeing him on the Lakers. He's out here guarding the 3-point line. He's done a pretty decent job to me.
Early in his career, he did struggle though. Early in his career, he did struggle.
But you know why though? You know why he's doing a good job of that?
He got better.
You know why though, right? He got better this year. He got better this year. Before that, he was not doing it. You know why? Because he has the teammates. See, if Hakeem Olajuwon played in this era and he has a coach that had Hakeem, we're going to create a scheme to make it better for you to cover the 3-point line. He would have been doing the same thing.
Correct. So, but I have something for Lamont.
Hold on, Raul. Let's hear from CA3 Sports Talk. We haven't heard from here yet. I want to make sure you can chime in on this, man. And what do you got? What do you think about this, man?
I think you made some good points. When it comes to Hakeem Olajuwon's defense, I think it would be different for him, like defensively, because a lot of big men in this league, it relies on them. A lot of teams rely on them to have guard-like skills, like perimeter skills. I feel like Hakeem didn't have, especially on defense, he didn't have great perimeter skills. He may have not been as dominant defensively because in the 90s you could stand in the paint all day long, like you said. But you can't do that in this era. And he would have to step out to the three and shoot. So, and in the mid-range, and like you said, he struggled in the mid-range, so he would have to step out in the perimeter, and he seemed to struggle at that. It would be. He may have not been as dominant defensively, but yes, he would still be a dominant defender. I think a lot of people kind of. I think a lot of people have a problem with what you said just because of your title. I think your title is a little bit misleading to what some people thought. But I think people kind of misconstrued what you said because I don't think you really guarded King that much. You just said he wouldn't be as dominant in this era, especially on the perimeter. And that's why I had to. That's why I had to believe. I'm a businessman. I had to believe that Ben Wallace was still been a dominant defender just for the fact that he could guard the perimeter. And Hakeem Olajuwon couldn't really guard the perimeter like that. So I see where you're coming from when you say he wouldn't be as dominant defensively in this era.
I mean, I agree. I agree. At the rim, in any era, he's going to be a great shot blocker. Now, the only thing is, in this era, what we know is that the game is more spaced out. He's going to have to be more than a rim protector to be effective because we see the Utah Jazz struggle night in and night out. Even though they have the best rim protector in the league, they find themselves struggling. Why? Because their center, even though he's improving, he still struggles to guard outside of 15 feet, which centers of this league have to do today.
But look, though, you got to also look at his teammates, though. His teammates don't do a good job of doing it.
That's not true because the Utah Jazz are a great defensive team.
In the playoffs, I want you to look at the playoffs. Look when they play on the Rockets with Chris Paul. The teammates don't do a good job of doing their job. That's why.
The Utah Jazz are one of the better defensive teams in this league.
In the regular season, I'm talking about the playoffs. They have not done a good job against elite teams. They have not.
I mean, again, it's hard to do a good job against elite teams if you're anybody.
Well, look, see, I can't give you that, Lamont. I'm sorry, I can't give you that one because bro, the Utah Jazz do not do a good job of that.
They did. Hold on, they struggle. Hold on, they struggle. But you find teams in this league struggling because in a 7-game series, coaches can game plan and use synergy stats to identify your weaknesses. That's why. Hey, we got a new guy in the chat down here. I don't know how to say your name. You got a whole bunch of numbers and letters. But let's hear what you got to say about this, man.
That's it. Z Renegade.
Z Renegade?
Yeah.
Z Renegade 504, man. What you got on this?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, he's not saying. Hold on.
Okay,
I'm gonna give him a minute so the time in.
quick. Okay, he's talking.
Okay. He is. Hey, what's up, Renegade?
Yeah. Look,
what you got on this?
I got a 4-1.
I can't hear you, man.
It's gonna be 4-1.
What's gonna be 4-1?
It's gonna be 4-1. This series, it's gonna be 4-1. Some kind of way, it's gonna be 4-1.
What you talking about? You talking about the Heat and the Lakers?
Yeah.
Oh, we wasn't talking about the Heat and Lakers yet.
What y'all talking about?
We talking about Hakeem Olajuwon.
Man, what about him? Number 2.
Hakeem is a fraud, according to
According to Lamont. Fuzzy Brain Lane with the weirdest hairstyle I ever seen in my life, bro. I'm gonna tell you something right now, Lamont Lane. I just came back on the basketball court today, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. Just give me a couple weeks. I promise you.
Hey, Mahari.
You gonna get all this.
Hey, Mahari.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it to yourself, man.
Hey, Lamont, will take me 15 seconds. So, all the defenders center back then, they have the same opportunity. Back then.
MJ ducked Hakeem.
Sorry?
If Hakeem wasn't like that, MJ wouldn't have ducked him.
Meg. Meg, what are you talking?
If Hakeem was really overrated, MJ wouldn't have ran from him in 95, 94.
Yeah, MJ didn't run from him.
Remove the mask. You have to remove the mask, the dog. We cannot hear you.
Huh?
I said MJ ducked Hakeem. What you talking? Yeah, that's what I said.
Man, you finna run me out this chat, man. Come on.
Nah,
bro.
he didn't duck Hakeem out, man. He just got he said the league was getting too easy, basically.
Okay, I'll tell you this, Lamont. Okay.
Getting too easy. How you believe that, but you know that he quit for the second time when they was about to take away Pip and Phil. So which one you gonna quit? You quitting because it's too easy and because it's too
Just
Boy,
go and
what's up
say it,
with you?
bro. Just
I'm
go and
just going
say
off
it.
what he said.
You think he's not the GOAT. Go and say it, bro. Just don't say it.
Of course not. Of course not.
I know it.
Boy, not even
That's why.
Bear,
That's
boy,
why.
Barely
That's
was
why.
better than Hakeem. Boy ran from Hakeem.
Man,
Hakeem
get
was
out of it,
probably the
man,
best one
bro.
back then.
Bro.
Bro, go learn basketball, then come on the chat and
Who
talk, bro.
who better? Who better?
What you mean? Who's better? Everybody know who's the GOAT, bro. Stop it, bro.
It's Kareem.
No, everybody emotional
Kareem,
about who they think
what you
who
say?
they think the GOAT. I say
Kareem ain't no
everybody
damn
emotional
GOAT.
about who they think the GOAT is.
Bro, everybody,
That-
I'm a Kobe fan. I know Michael Jordan the GOAT, man. Cut that shit out,
You a
dog.
Kobe? You
Yes.
saying MJ the
That's 'cause he
GOAT because
copied everything
Kobe a
Jordan did.
clone.
Bro, I'm
You
saying that. I'm
gotta
saying
say
that
you
No.
feel like you gotta say MJ the GOAT because you a
I don't have to
Kobe
say. I
fan.
don't have to say shit. I'm going
Yeah,
on with
you do. That's how you
compliments.
feel.
Man, I'm going on
What
with
a compliment.
compliments and
Against
everything he
who?
put on the table. What he brought to the table, Michael Jordan's the GOAT, in my opinion.
You
bro.
going off
I don't care what
emotion.
you say. I'm
Hey,
not
Lamar,
going on
keep
emotion.
it,
I know what I'm talking about.
Lamar, keep it how you were going, man. You were going in order.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to get back to Hebrew because we didn't hear much from him, man. I wanted to hear more about what Hebrew had to say on this because we didn't get his full take.
Hey, Lamar, before I go, hey, look, I'm out y'all later, man. I'm taking
right,
time.
man.
I'm pretty sure you'll be
How?
on there.
Yeah.
So salute, Mahar. You a legend, man.
How is Kareem? I mean, how is Hakeem overrated though?
Hold on. Let's get to Hebrew real quick. I want to hear back from Hebrew again.
Okay.
Hero?
Hey, Lamar, I agree with you, man. With the defensive 3 seconds and the fact that these guys shoot more from outside from 3 and in the mid range, I don't think he'd be as effective as a defender in this era as he was back then at all. I mean, if you imagine him playing against Houston with all the threes they put up, they put up like 50, almost 60 threes a game, and him trying to get out there and try to defend them, and they can just blow past them or just hit the three. Like, I don't think he'd be effective in this era. That's just my opinion. I don't think he would.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, man. I don't think that's disrespect towards his game to say that he would be as effective because of the rule changes in his era. The rule changes affected a lot of players. The rule changes affected Mike. Mike admitted it. The rule changes affected guys like Tracy McGrady. Mm-hmm. He admitted it. The rule changes affected even Kobe. Kobe said stuff about the zone.
1v1 players.
Yeah, any 1v1 player, you're correct. They hated the zone in NBA because they felt like you could gang up on the star player and take away his efficiency. So all that did was I feel like it made star players better because now instead of having to guard, you take somebody one-on-one, you're having to find ways to either extend your range or you have to be more creative to score if you're going to drive and shoot them, use the mid-range or attack the rim. I mean, I don't get how it's an insult because the game just changed. Just like the game changed and affects Shaq, it affected it. It would affect Hakeem. It would affect all those guys.
But Hakeem can shoot. Hakeem can shoot a little bit. He can shoot over the zone a little bit.
It is an insult, Lamont, because why? Why? Because you keep putting the argument. Because I mean, the whole narrative that we're talking based on the synergy stats and all the stuff is just to put in perspective.
Oh, hey, hold on, bro. Translin Patterson, man, you got to come in the chat, man. Come in the chat, man. You can't just talk, man. We come in here and debate.
Yeah, come here.
He says he calls us, he's probably referring to me. I ain't gonna put y'all in. He said weirdos. So you got to come in the chat, and if you got any basketball understanding, you should be able to easily debunk me. We can put you right on the hot seat immediately and put you on that timer. If you can't counter my argument, we can kick you out real quick. So just come on in.
Say this.
Okay,
Hakeem would do better against the zone than MJ.
Well, you got to understand the 2-3 zone and a lot of these zones were designed to take away the post. So it would be harder for Hakeem to score on his own.
But here's a kind of argument I can reflect.
But he can shoot over him though.
Yeah.
Hold on.
A little bit. He's a
All
good shooter. He was a good shooter. Very good.
He was. But let me tell you this: you can counter that zone by basically kicking the ball off the double team, and then allowing the perimeter guys to get off and get crazy from the outside. Let me tell you this: so right now, Jim Boeheim coaches the best 2-3 zone in all college basketball. Why? Because they do a great job of coming back, basically chasing them back on defense and setting up in the specific spots on the zone, right? But the way that you can beat the zone, and I played against the 2-3 zone in my basketball life, the way you beat the 2-3 zone is by perimeter shooting. Take the open spots on the floor and try to open up the zone to get the post players going inside, right? You can even use the high low too against a 2-3 zone.
But Mahari, the reason why Jim Boeheim, the reason why it's hard to shoot over his zone because he recruits.
He recruits length players.
He recruits length. He recruits 6'9", 6'7" players who are flying all over the place. And so again, what I've seen, especially at the college level, and I saw this in the NBA, the Celtics use it, and the Lakers really use it effectively, was instead of just sending that middle guy straight to the middle, what that middle guy would do is he would go screen the ball and roll to the middle. And when they do that and they swing the ball to the middle, it creates an opening in that zone that gives AD and guys like Jason Tatum a straight line to the rim with nobody in front of them. So there's a lot of – you can create weaknesses. This is why we're seeing the Miami Heat get picked apart. A smart team is going to pick you apart. And if you're going to commit to playing the 2-3 zone in the NBA, you better have a lethal offense. You better have a lethal offense. Otherwise, teams are going to run you out the gym on a nightly basis.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Yep, that's pretty much what it is. But back to my argument, okay? Based on the stats you were kind of given, though, in its proper context, you is right about the stats. Stats don't always – sometimes stats don't lie, but they don't always tell the full story, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But
Depending
going
on
back
if the person agree with them or not.
Yeah, just to finish my statement, if the argument of the era of the what if is based on the synergy stats just to bring him back in 2020, don't make any sense, because at the same time doesn't make any sense for the title that you put to the video, because you say that he's a fraud, but he's a fraud where? A fraud over there, or a fraud over here?
I know, but Raul, you're reading into the title too much, man. When I say that, I'm just messing with y'all when I say that. A lot of times, the only time I say fraud, and this is when I'm usually joking with the other guys on other channels, I'll say that because I honestly did not believe he would have 2 championships if Jordan didn't retire.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody believed that. But probably he will be a Hall of Famer without chip.
But Raul, when I say that, Raul, I'm just trying to bait. I try to bait Jordan fans, because what I'll ask them is, when I say that, they'll be like, he's not a fraud. And then I'll say, do you think he could have beat Jordan? And if they say yes, then I'll hit them back with, Jordan wasn't.
But doesn't mean that somebody, Lamont, just to be objective, doesn't mean because somebody cannot beat Jordan is a fraud.
Bulls never beat a real center like Hakeem.
Yeah, it's true.
Hold on,
Patrick Ewing don't count. Bull was already still in '98.
See, the championships matter, y'all. Championships matter. And
I understand, but there's no way that you can say that because Jordan was. I mean, let's say that he didn't retire. If he won 93 or 94 and 93 and 94 too, okay, or 94 and 95. Sorry, don't tell me that because Jordan beat Olajuwon, that Olajuwon is not a great center.
No, but hold on. If he doesn't have the 2 championships, is he in your top 10?
No, but he will be Hall of Famer anyways.
No. A lot of players are going to be Hall of Famers.
Okay.
But when we talk about top 10, and this is for a lot of people have Hakeem in the top 10. Some people have him in the top 5.
I will have it. I will have it in top 15 if he didn't have the title, or probably top 20.
Ooh, that's tough.
Top 20.
No, I would say top 30 minus the championships. Top 30.
If he didn't have those 2 championships, I will have him top 25.
Hold on, y'all. He's Patrick Ewing without the championships.
No, hold on. Let me break that. No.
You're reaching.
Hakeem and Vlade Divac, the only 2 centers that have beat top one of the top 20, 30 centers in the game today if they played.
Absolutely, man.
Vlade used to get abused by Shaq back then.
But Shaq, you got because Shaq physical, he a big diesel. That's Shaq. I'm talking about just skill. Vlade had some skill and he could pass the ball and shoot a little bit. He could still play. He could play right now.
I'm not saying Vlade was a whack player. I'm just saying that Shaq.
He wasn't whack. I'm not saying that he was that good. I ain't saying he was that good. I'm just talking about his skill set and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He passing the ball.
Celtics 85. Come on in the chat, man. Come on in the chat, Celtics 85.
I will say this though. I mean, in this day and age, it's important to have perimeter shield because I always said, like, before this playoff started, I said if AD doesn't step up and play center, the Lakers are not going to win the championship.
I mean, they're up 2-0, so.
But when AD has to, and I said the Lakers were struggling in the Rocket series if AD didn't step up and play center the whole entire series. And in the first game they struggled against the Rockets because AD didn't step up and play center. But once AD started to play center the whole series, then they killed the Rockets.
Yeah,
because AD had a perimeter ability and he gave them more spacing.
You know where the real fries of today's NBA? The Houston Rockets, bro. Houston Rockets can kiss my ass every single time when they play, bro.
Dang.
Bearden only go against the champion.
Hold on, why? Because we can transition. Because I really want to transition back into this era. Because again, we can talk about Hakeem all day. At the end of the day, regardless of if I think he was a fraud or not, I have to admit he was a great player in the '90s. We're only guessing when it comes to this era. But again, so we can all guess. But he's still, in my book, he was the best center of the '90s. I can't take that away from him. So he wasn't a complete fraud at all. But he, according to some of his teammates and some of that staff in Houston, he was. And again, y'all just do the research on it. When you fake injuries, when you do all of this stuff, when you're not a good teammate, that's where the fraudulent stuff comes in. I think a lot of people have the impression that he was just this great teammate, and he really wasn't.
Well, here's the thing: he wasn't a great teammate early on, but then afterwards, when he went through the whole
most great thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I'm just saying, like, listen. Who would be saying those kind of things because they've never won anything in their life? Because Hakeem was driven to win. When I hear these kind of comments, I think, well, what have you done to do for yourself to try to get to where the star player is at this particular point? All right. And the other thing too is, like I said before, Hakeem didn't have the greatest supporting cast outside of Ralph Sampson. But when Ralph Sampson injured his knee, he was no longer the same player.
That's not true, Mario.
I mean,
that's not true.
No, when Ralph Sampson injured his knee, I'm saying, listen, if Ralph Sampson was healthy the majority of his career, I think they would have had a chance to beat the Lakers. Because listen, Ralph Sampson and Hakeem basically gave Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the business, bro. Like,
don't you think? And this is arguable. Raul, I want you to chime in, and CA3 Sports, I want to hear Hebrew as well. A lot of people felt that Otis Thorpe was an all-star caliber player back in the 90s.
Otis Thorpe, I remember it. Yep.
He played with Hakeem a lot, and a lot of people consider him all-star caliber. He might not have made all of the all-star games every single year because he was in a really crazy Western Conference, but a lot of people had him as all-star caliber. And when you look at Robert Horry, when Robert Horry came in as a rookie, his game was compared to Scottie Pippen's. Now he didn't pan out to be Scottie Pippen, but they compared him. And then Sam Cassell had a lot of promise as well. Like, and I know that's when they won the championships. And then they had Drexler that second championship. Yeah, but I don't like throwing the other teammates under the bus because one thing that makes championship players elite is finding a way to elevate those guys that don't normally. When you get other guys to play above their level, that's when you start to become a champion. That's any superstar. Most superstars can't just go out there and do it by themselves. You have to elevate the other guys around you to make your team championship level. That's where I think Hakeem struggled.
But can you say the opposite argument when it comes to Patrick Ewing? Because listen, Patrick Ewing should have 1 or 2 championships. Didn't he make his teammates better when they were still? There you go. There you go. But Hakeem did that during their championship years.
It's unfair to say Hakeem
knew how to pass a little bit.
just because.
But I
Michael
don't think
Jordan
Hakeem was the
was
leader of that team. I thought it was
It's just
Mario
unfair,
Ellie's
in my
voice. I
opinion.
thought Mario Ellie was the voice of that team and the leader of that team,
I don't
more
think
so
enough
than Hakeem.
positives, in my
I
opinion,
thought
from
Vernon
Apple.
Maxwell at times was kind of
Or
like the
like-
vocal
or
leader
anything.
at times, but Maxwell can be can go crazy a lot. So,
That's true.
I
I
mean,
mean-
Vernon Maxwell early on, but then maybe Mario Elie later on because Vernon Maxwell was upset because he wanted to get more playing time after the Drexler trade.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Look,
that's just pretty much what it
But
is.
so
Go ahead.
hold on, we got game 3 tonight, man. I want to hear from everybody on game 3, man. And like I want to hear.
I mean, you're screwed almost.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you down there, Miguel.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here's the thing, though. What I want to know is, what do y'all think? Like the Heat are in desperation mode
Yeah,
now,
you're
man.
desperate.
Yeah.
Being down 3-0 is not an easy thing to come back from because nobody's ever done it before.
This is my thought, Lamont.
He actually wrote the stat line of what the Heat were going to score tonight.
It's such a key.
This
I
is
want
what
to-
need to
but
happen.
it's
This is
the
what
Heat
need to
that-
happen. This is what need to happen for the Heat to win.
So at least the Heat to get one
Where's up
victory.
Ramon coming in with the prediction stats?
I just feel like Lakers. I mean,
This
I
is-
just feel like Heat can only take one game and that's it. At
This
best.
is what need to happen, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, if you go down 3-0, it's over.
That's a tall
That's
shot.
a lot of wishful thinking, Raul. That's a lot you asking for.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just for one game as well.
that's my thought. That's my thought.
Yeah.
They have to go over 120 points. That's 129 right there. But they have to go over 120 points
And play.
in order for them to win. My
Yeah, just get
opinion.
one game.
Lamont, watch that be their combined stats for the next 2 games.
But no, I'll give my prediction because I actually got to go. I think tonight, it's going to be the same old story. Listen, when you don't have Bam Adebayo and Gordon Dragic, two of your best offensive weapons out there, and then Jimmy Butler's out there hurting right now, and then with the Heat, their 3-point shooting basically literally taken away from them because the Lakers have done a great job of closing them out and doing a good job defensively on Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Yeah, bro, I don't see no chance.
It's
listen,
pretty much over. If they win.
yeah, it's like, listen, when you got Anthony Davis and LeBron James combined to score 65 points together,
Yeah.
and you got Rondo hitting clutch shots, timely 3-point shooting when the Heat were
And
making
Dwight
a
as
run.
well. And Dwight as
Yep.
well.
And KCP hitting threes, Kuzma hitting threes, and then Danny Green, stepping up and hitting a 3. Like, listen, bro, there's too much for the Heat to overcome. I think
But
the
that's
Heat.
like an
I'm taking the Lakers to take game 3, go up 3-0, and sweep the entire finals. I don't see that happening. I don't think this happening.
I can see he just win one game and then just get gentleman sweep.
If it's one game, have to
Wow.
be this one. If it's one game, have to be this one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It
It has to be this game tonight if they're gonna have a chance.
Yeah, they ain't winning no game 4.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
LeBron's definitely not blowing a 3-0 lead.
No.
Not even close.
So Lamont Lane, I'm gonna tell you something right now. When if we ever meet up on the basketball court, man, it is going to be epic in this thing.
Damn.
Hey, well, Mahari, I pray for your ankles, man. I hope your ankles
Pray
will
for-
be okay.
Let me tell you something right now. Don't worry about my ankles. I don't care if I get crossed up. The only thing that matters is if I beat you in the scoreboard. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Mahari, I'm not gonna sleep on you because I know your basketball. I'm not gonna sleep on nobody.
Right.
And to be honest, I've never through college, everything. I've never been a great one-on-one player. I've always been a great team player.
Me too. But I've had to learn.
So
to be a
you
great
could
one-on-one.
potentially beat me. I don't see it happening, but we'll see.
All
We
right.
will see. It'd be fun. Man.
He can I like that. You can potentially
Lamont.
be. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, sure. And then watch me beat you, and then send the video to Ticket TV, and then he goes out there.
Oh my
Bring your
God!
ass.
Don't do that.
Hey, hold on. So, hey, before we, because I don't want to run this live too long because I know the game starts in about 30
Yeah, it
minutes.
starts in 26 minutes.
So what I want to do now is, again, we're going to make this consistent with all of our live chats, man. I know we have our panel that's in here now, but I need 2 people that are not in the panel. I need 2 people that are not in the panel right now to join the live chat because we need have our head-to-head debate for the $25 Amazon gift card. All right, and the topic is gonna be: we need one Kobe fan, we need one LeBron fan. I need you to make your best argument. I need you to make your best argument for either Kobe being better or LeBron being better. So I need two contestants to step in, and so you got to say something in the chat so I'll know who you are.
Hey,
But we need two people to jump in. If two people don't jump in, then we have to pick two people that are already on the panel to do so. But I want to give people in the chat the opportunity to jump in and compete for the chance, because I want to see who has the best arguments when something's on the line, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Lamont Lame, I gotta get going though, bro. But appreciate
that's all day. It's been like that for years.
Hey, Lamont Lame, bro, I gotta get going though, man. But it was fun to have the debate again. But we're gonna have our one-on-one debate soon. I don't care if it's your channel, my channel, but I promise you're gonna get this to work. I promise you.
I do think undoubtedly LeBron's better.
Peace, man.
All right, Mahari.
See you, man.
Okay. Down to 8.
Hey, Octavius X-Made. I explained it all about Hakeem earlier. You missed it, man. I don't want to go down that road again because we only got 20 minutes. But
replay the video. Replay the video.
But in my opinion, I do think LeBron's undoubtedly better than Kobe. Undoubtedly better than Kobe.
All right, hey man. If nobody steps up in the chat, you may have to be the one stepping up for LeBron. Hold on, let me put the link in the chat again.
Obvious.
I'm going for LeBron, I'm not going to debate them because everybody's for LeBron.
Hold on, we need a Kobe Bryant fan to join the chat, man. We need a Kobe Bryant fan, and we need a LeBron fan. We need a Kobe fan and LeBron fan to join the chat.
I don't necessarily have to be a LeBron fan, but this is kind of obvious, man. I'm not a LeBron deep rider, but it's obvious, man. And you just said it. You
He's
said
a better player.
when the thing is on the line. You say when the thing is on the line or overall?
No, we're just talking overall.
LeBron is better 3-point shooter. He's more efficient.
Yeah.
He's whatever. What else, man? He's better on the clutch. What else?
Yeah. We need two people. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say because I think when you're talking about Kobe and LeBron, depending on how you shift your argument, you can create the argument for Kobe and you can create the argument for LeBron. It just depends on which way you go.
Yeah, I can make a great argument for Kobe, though. I'm a LeBron fan, but I think I can make an argument for both players. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, I try to be unfair about it because there are arguments for both.
Yeah, you need to be unbiased and stuff. But
I feel like they're one of the two players that are very interchangeable in anybody's top 5. Like, you can interchange them, put them in different spots.
But if you went to this year, is it like undoubtedly better? We all know LeBron's better than Kobe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, hold on. I'm trying to get somebody to step up to the plate in the chat.
That's pretty undoubtable.
Yeah, but still, right now, I still feel like LeBron's better than Kobe.
Where are the Kobe Bryant fans?
Man,
where are the Kobe Bryant fans in the chat?
Let me tell you. All right, this how you know. This how you know who better. This how you know who better. Brian whipped Kobe so bad during the whole time in Cleveland. Kobe played his heart out against Brian in that All-Star game. Played his heart out. Brian was looking at him like, "This is the All-Star game."
Hold on 1 second. We got Sixers Daily. How you doing, man? What's going on? Are you coming in for the debate?
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
What the debate was like Kobe and LeBron, right?
Yeah. Who you taking?
I mean, don't you need like someone to stand up for Kobe, something like that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm a Bron fan, but I could stand up for Kobe. I gotta go.
I want to see that.
We're on LeBron's side.
Hold on. We need a LeBron fan to step in to the debate. Sixers Daily for the $25 Amazon gift card. Man, who's gonna step up to the plate?
But wait a second. He's going to defend. He's going to defend LeBron.
No, he said he's defending Kobe.
You defending Kobe, Cesar Daily?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's gonna defend LeBron then?
I mean, I don't know.
Pick it.
I got it.
CJ, you said you would come in.
I talked too much already. Go ahead, Ibru.
CJ said he was gonna come in. I was waiting on CJ to come in.
CJ,
I could be the LeBron guy.
No, CJ will not talk statistic, man. CJ will talk about his heart and his love, and how sweet LeBron is, and blah blah blah.
Hey, hard work. ENT 23. He says once or if LeBron's athleticism leaves him, will he still be effective? We don't know because it hasn't left yet.
Yeah, he hasn't.
That's part of him. That's part of him. We have to count it.
Yeah, right now it looks like it's embedded in his DNA. He's always going to have it.
Yeah, his longevity is insane.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and that's a hard question because
that guy invests millions on his body, man.
Yeah,
his millions.
Longevity is insane.
William Turner, come on in the chat, man. If you got LeBron, man, please come in the chat, man. The link is in the chat, man. Make sure you come in the chat.
I mean, if nobody will step up, I will step up for LeBron. So somebody step up in the chat. Hey, Hebrew.
Celtics 85. I see you in there, man. The link is in the chat, man. We
Hebrew.
need somebody in to take
Mike, are you stepping for LeBron?
Kobe.
Yeah.
Hebrew. Okay, Hebrew and Cesar Daily. Go ahead.
Let's do this, folks.
Yeah.
In a clean battle.
So
Who
like,
wants to go first?
What's the detailed debate? Like, what are we talking about? Like,
so basically, this is going to be 2 rounds. Sixers Daily, you go first this round. Hebrew's going to go first the second round. The debate is make your argument for who is the greater player, Kobe or LeBron, and you got to say why. And then we're going to let the chat decide once the debate is over.
Can't wait to see this.
Hold on. We got Celtics. I know Celtics 85 wanted to come in on this. Were you coming in? Were you coming in for the debate?
Yeah. Thing is, I don't like LeBron or Kobe, but I do have an opinion on who's better.
Damn.
Okay. All right. So stand by right there.
Yeah.
Stand by right there because we got 2 challengers already. So we're gonna get your take on it as soon as they're done. But go ahead, Sixers Daily, man.
Start it off.
Let's hear it.
All right. So the first thing we gotta look at is points. If I'm not mistaken, LeBron has more points than Kobe, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like Kobe is the better player because.
This is your argument.
What do you say?
Now go ahead. Yeah, don't cut him off, y'all. Don't cut him off.
All right.
Caesar, but you're picking Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe.
Okay, Kobe. Okay.
Okay, we have
All right. So first we got to break it down. I mean, Kobe has more rings, and I'm not even too big on the ring debate because like I feel like some people abuse that when it comes to when we talk about greater players. But I think Kobe even has the better game than LeBron offensively. You look, Kobe's more detailed offensively, like LeBron. I mean, LeBron's a great offensive player. I can't knock him on that. Great playmaking, great scoring, all that. But I think Kobe's more detailed. Like Kobe can break down the defender more. He can get you in the post. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's one of the only players in the 2000s that heavily used the mid range because that's when the 2000s was when the mid range was starting to die down. But I think Kobe's greater because just like we're saying, more rings. Like look at his playoff performances compared to LeBron's. LeBron, he choked a lot in the playoffs. I mean, look at Kobe never had a 2011. 2011, you don't really see a lot of greats with a 2011. Like Michael Jordan never lost in the finals.
You got 15 seconds, Sixers Daily.
I'm gonna just keep it like that. I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet like that.
All right, man. Hey, that's his argument for Kobe. Now, hey, Hebrew, man, let's hear the argument for LeBron, man.
Let's see this.
If I'm gonna take it as a whole lot of work. I know people with Kobe, when they make their argument for Kobe, they talk about really just the mid range and the scoring and stuff like. For points per game, LeBron James averages two more points per game than Kobe. He averages 2 more rebounds than Kobe. Averages 2 more assists than Kobe. Averages more steals and more blocks for his career. In the playoffs and the regular season, both playoffs and regular season, he averages all 5 categories more. His LeBron in the playoffs has 5 game-winning buzzer beaters in the playoffs.
Were you coming in for the debate?
Yeah.
What's up, bros?
Like LeBron.
Hey, mute your mic, William Turner. Mute your mic.
My bad.
All right, go ahead, Hebrew. My bad.
No, you're right. In the playoffs, LeBron James has 5 game-winning buzzer beat playoffs to Kobe Bryant's 1. with go in the playoffs when the game is within five points, the shooting percentage, LeBron James is at 45% to Kobe Bryant's 35%. So that's a 10% advantage for LeBron in the playoffs. And when he was talking about Kobe Bryant never had a 2011 moment, oh yes he did. He had a 3-1 lead on Steve Nash in 2006, and if I can remember that game one, a lot of people when they talk about LeBron, they talk about he doesn't.
Got 10 seconds, Hebrew.
He doesn't have that killer instinct in the fourth quarter. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Kobe Bryant, that Mamba mentality, he only shot one shot in that fourth quarter. He only shot one shot in that fourth quarter. So
wow, yeah,
man, that's just a lie. He doesn't. He doesn't have a killer instinct.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. That's the first round. Hold on now, Hebrew. You can pass, and you can just pass your because since you just went, you can pass and you can send it straight to Sixers Daily for one last shot to debunk you, or you can just stand pat where you at now. Do you want another minute?
I can pass it. He can go ahead and go ahead.
All right, Sixers Daily. Do you got anything else on Kobe, man?
Yeah.
To bolster your case, man. You got 1 minute. Let's go.
1 minute. Start now?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna just make it fast and sweet. So when you talk about that Suns playoff series, there's a lot behind that. Kobe Bryant, he didn't shoot the ball on purpose to prove Phil Jackson wrong about his teammates. So that's not really more of him trying to win. He was trying to make a point, even though I don't really like what he did, but that's facts. I mean, you put out a lot of numbers on me. I'm just thinking like off the top, but Kobe, he played more competition than LeBron to get to the finals because the finals is only one series, and to get to the finals, you have to go through the first round, second round, and the third round. And he played through a tough Western Conference in the 2000s, like the Jazz, the Rockets, teams like the Spurs, the Suns. He played through a lot of competition to get to his championships. And I don't think LeBron played a lot of competition besides in the finals. And when he did, he came small. And LeBron, that buzzer beater argument, that's not really true because LeBron, most of the time when it comes down to the crunch time, he just passes the ball up, and he's not as clutch as Kobe. And I'm just keep it like that.
All right, man. Hey, man. Hold on. We're going to start with our chat here first, man. We're going to start with the panel, man. Man, who y'all think had the better argument, man? And again, this is just about who had the better argument. We might have our own personal feelings.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Who had the better argument, Hebrew or Sixers Daily?
I think that Hebrew. I understand what you just said. Sixers regarding the point that he tried to make, whatever that kind of thing. But the thing of the stats and the achievements, and man, LeBron is far superior. You know. I mean, that's my take.
Hey, Z Renegade, man, who had the best argument?
I mean, he said that the buzzer beaters that Bryant actually got that he didn't get. That was his argument. I mean, that's not an argument. You know what I'm saying? So it's obviously got to be homie over here that's going on Bryant's side.
So that's another one for Hebrew, right?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. William Turner, who you got?
Oh, I got the guy that had LeBron, because LeBron better than Kobe.
That's 3 for Hebrew. CA Sports Talk, man. Who you got?
I think Hebrew won just from the standpoint. I think he had more facts. I think Sixers Daily, he kind of went off just off top. He didn't really have any, really cold hard facts. Like Hebrew came with facts.
Okay.
I mean, there were some fall points on both sides, but I think Hebrew had more facts.
Okay. Hey, MKS, man. We haven't seen you in the chat before, so salute for jumping into the chat, man. Who do you think got that one?
This is me, Lamont. This is Mike.
Oh, Mike, I didn't see your picture. My bad, man.
Yeah, it's just the M up there. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I came in at the end, man, so I really didn't get all what Sixers Daily or Hebrew was saying. So I really can't tell you who won, really.
Okay, so we just gonna pass it to the chat now. So the panel, I think the panel favorite. Who did we get? CA Sports Talk.
Yeah, I said what I said. Yeah,
and we got William Turner.
Yeah, you got me too.
Okay, so We
Yeah,
gonna
for LeBron one for LeBron 4 and 1 undecisive and Celtic didn't say anything yet.
Hey, so we got in the chat. We need a 1 for Hebrew, 2 for Sixers Daily, man. Who you think won? Everybody saying LeBron.
LeGoat.
Everybody saying Hebrew or LeBron.
Yeah, Hebrew won.
Ones, man.
Hebrew got that.
Got a lot of ones, man. I don't know what's going on.
And by the way, guys, there's 1,000 people here. Hit the like button. There's 34 likes only.
We need to get the likes up, man.
Like button, guys.
Jesus Christ, those guys are lazy.
For that support, man.
Hey, but it looks like it's overwhelming right
here.
It's
a landslide. It's a landslide.
Can
I add to the argument?
Yeah, hold on. Let me in Hebrew. Make sure you put your email in the private chat so we can get that gift card to you. But hey, Hebrew is actually, again, we set a new marker on the channel. He's the first winner of one of our live debates, man. $25 gift card. Every time we go live, man, we're gonna always end it with trying to do a live debate between you guys, or if you want to take me on directly. And then we'll just let the chat decide. But hey, William Turner, what did you have on it?
Well, to add to the LeBron being better than Kobe debate, if you break down the skill set, the overall talent and ability, LeBron's a better passer, better rebounder, better versatile defender, more efficient shooter. We like to add accolades and stuff like that. So Kobe does have more rings. LeBron has more Finals MVPs, more MVPs. He's been the best player in the world longer than Kobe was. And I love Kobe. I love both of them. But if you break down the overall totality of everything, LeBron is just clearly just over Kobe all the time. So
Carter, you should get here at the debate, man. You got too late. You can convince.
Yeah, I should have been.
Hey, hold on, Dwayne Carter, man. Make sure you come in on our next live chat because that might be the next debate right there.
He's trolling.
You brought it up.
I would love to take that debate.
He's trolling.
Get up. Lamont, get out the bed. Get out the bed so I can get into that.
He's trolling. Stop it.
He probably playing around.
Stop it.
I'm 100. See, Jordan Knights, they think they have to say Kobe better than LeBron because they think MJ the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Kobe got way more skill than MJ with a better outside shot.
Oh my goodness.
He is more skilled than MJ.
Wayne played harder competition for longer.
Yeah.
Played better people in a better conference.
No, stop it.
Hey, y'all, Dwayne Carter and X-Men. It looks like we have a matchup for the next live debate. Dwayne Carter and X-Men have already stated their stances. Dwayne Carter is going to go for X-Men is going to be going for Jordan, man. Hey, make sure both of y'all make sure y'all show
Kareem versus Jordan.
That Kobe Kool-Aid is strong, man. Y'all need to stop it.
Man. Hey, that's a sensitive topic. You're dealing with two strong fan bases right there.
Guys, we have 1,090 something people in. Hit the like button. You guys are lazy.
Like, I don't like LeBron or Kobe, but I will say that LeBron has a higher IQ, and he makes his teammates better. Like, Kobe's shot selection is terrible, man. And to me, you got to be a leader and be able to actually lead your team to make them better. And I feel like Kobe never made his teammates better. That's just me, though. Don't hate me, but that's my opinion.
I mean, I think he made Pau Gasol stronger. I think he made him a little better, But Kobe had his bad ways with the leadership. We seen it on camera. But every great player had defaults as a leader. So
Yo, Lamont.
Yo, what up?
Yo, when does the game start?
The game is about to start right now.
In 7 minutes.
Yeah, we about to start. We about to go ahead and wrap this live. Up, man. Yeah, the game's supposed to start at 4:30.
Kobe's not better than MJ, dude.
At 7:30.
Hold on, but you know what though, you guys, with the Kobe MJ debate, that's one I really had to think about because there's a lot of people who can make the case for the fact that Kobe and MJ are very similar players, and Kobe did it a little bit better.
How, man? How?
A little better?
Yeah, Shaq. Yeah, Shaq, though.
Listen, my case is based off of I felt like Kobe had more against him as far as the league didn't capitulate to Kobe as much as it capitulated to Jordan. They changed rules for Jordan. They capitulated to everything that he asked. Jordan had told the league, don't do the zone, don't allow the zone. They didn't allow the zone. Jordan said, give me more fouls. They gave him more fouls. Kobe was the villain. He couldn't ask for those things. He couldn't get no extra advantages. He had to just play through whatever was in front of him. And 5 rings, and it should have been more. I mean, that's a lot without the league pushing you. That's a lot.
Can I ask you this? Yeah, they would have got Chris Paul. They would have won more rings.
Was Michael Jordan a Robin ever?
No, but Kobe was a Robin. You can't just
it.
Kobe. Kobe was never a Robin, though. I say 1A, 1B. He was never a Robin.
Can I ask a question real
Shaq
quick?
was Batman.
There's no two Batman. There's no two Batman. Either you're Batman or you're Robin.
Robin. Exactly.
He was Robin.
MJ was a Batman.
There's no co-Batman. There's Batman and Robin.
Exactly, Raul. Exactly.
Man.
I mean,
okay.
Would you
with
say
that prime, with that dominant Shaq and MJ played on the same team? Do you still think MJ would be the number one option, or Shaq would because of his dominance?
That's a good question.
Game over, right there. Game over.
Good question.
It's not even a question.
Game over.
I don't know if anybody gonna be the number one option over that Shaq. That Shaq was just,
that's a good.
Like
that's a fact, right there.
Not at them time. Not before his own defense era.
I mean,
was Kobe's skill?
Stop Shaq and AI.
Hold on. X-Man says. The 2002 playoffs was rigged for the Lakers and Kobe. You can't make that argument for Kobe having more against him. So when you say rigged in the NBA, now you lose credibility, X-Man, because it's really hard to rig a whole entire NBA series.
And people are reachy, man.
No,
X-Man, what happened?
Like Hugh Hollinson admitted it already that he was fucking around back then.
Who?
Yeah.
Tim Donahue, what is his name? Tim Donahue? That was the
Tim Donahue.
Hugh Hollins fucked over Pip. Hugh Hollins fucked over Pip trying to say
that's true. You gotta acknowledge that when the refs come out, you know.
Against the Knicks.
Yeah.
Not every game is rigged, but
hey, I can't wait till the next. We're gonna try to go live. We're gonna go live 2 hours before the next game. It's probably gonna be the last game of this series. Game 4, we're gonna go live 2 hours before game 4, and again, the topic of this show is probably gonna be Kobe or Mike. That's what we gotta discuss, man, because that's a big time discussion. Obviously,
I will leave this here, Lamont, just in case it's happening. In case this happens, I will leave this for the video.
All you gotta do is the eye test. It's obvious.
It's over for Miami, man.
Do the eye test and then look at who they doing it again.
Should have let the Celtics win, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Miami is they had in fortitude to get one win somehow. I don't see them getting swept.
I was going 6, but
they gotta play Rondo better, man.
It's going 4-1 all through the playoff.
I play Rondo.
What's up with Rondo? Rondo is like super clutch. Like whenever the Lakers need a bucket, they go to. It's like Rondo makes that clutch 3. And it makes the difference, like in the fourth quarter. I don't know what's got it in the run.
Got to clamp down.
How did he start making those threes? Like he's a great 3-point shooter.
The guy is doing his work. He's putting his work. Period. He's putting his work.
He's crazy though. But he's a career horrible 3-point shooter.
He's the.
That's why I don't buy the thing with this guy. With the guy of Philadelphia. What it is? The no shooter.
Ben Simmons.
The Ben Simmons. Man, you get earning all those $1 million, and you cannot put the 50%, 45%. Man, are you kidding me right now?
There's a lot behind that, though. It's a lot behind that.
Mental or whatever, you have everything to do it. Man,
hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. I need a quick poll, real quick. Do you guys want me to go live after the game tonight? I will go live. Only if you guys put some ones in the chat. If you don't want to hear from me tonight, then just put 2s or just don't say nothing. But I will go live again. I'm sure there'll be a lot.
I come by and support
because I know Ticket usually goes live, so I know a lot of people used to jump over there. But if y'all want me to go live, man, hit 1s in the chat.
I support.
So some 1s in the chat,
guys. The same thing that you put in one, hit the freaking like. Jesus, right? I don't. Maybe you have bots here.
Hey,
Let me give you a like,
hey,
Lamont.
Facts.
Let me give you a like, Lamont.
yes, sir. Appreciate it. Hey, because I know a lot of people, man. I don't know why Ticket does it. Ticket will block the shit out of you. He will block you, and man. So if you've been blocked, man, and you ain't got no voice over there, man, you have a. I don't even know how to block people.
No comment.
Yet. I don't block
No
people.
comment,
Hold on,
bro.
William Turner, are you blocked?
Guys, don't be irrelevant.
I'm not blocked.
Hit the down. Hit the thumbs down bottom. Even the thumbs down bottom. Hit it.
Nah. Hey, there's no hate over there. I know he gets a little crazy with that. But you know, it's the mods over there that block you. Ticket actually really don't block a lot of people. The mods go crazy with. That's why.
He tell him to do it, Lamont. He's
see,
like, block that
that's
nigga.
why.
He tell him to do it.
See, that's why I don't have any mods.
I block a couple of them. I block personally. I block a couple of them.
But see, this is why I don't have mods over here, y'all. Because again, everybody's welcome. Like I said, you can come here and talk shit about me. I don't really care. It don't bother me that much. But if you say something crazy about the game of basketball, I'm gonna put your comment on the screen. You got to come into the live chat and talk about it, man. Got to come in the chat.
Defend what you said.
God, yeah, but hey, but see the good thing about here, the good thing about this channel, man. If you can, if you're talking about the topic of the day and it's up for debate, you could potentially win the prize of the day, gift cards or cash prizes. Mm-hmm. So come in, defend your arguments, man. You might be able to win a prize, something for defending your point. We put something on the line here, but again, we appreciate everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. I see a lot of ones in the chat. So what I'm gonna do is
I want that MJ versus Bron debate.
Oh man.
Hold on, we might do that tonight,
hey,
we might do that tonight.
I need that.
Hold on,
hey, so what I'm gonna do first before we do that.
Renegade got the best argument. Never been defeated.
Well, hey, we probably I'm gonna probably go live. I'm gonna wait. We're gonna probably go live an hour after the game is over. I'm gonna give it some time to let it sink in, and then we're gonna go live real quick. I don't want it like I don't want my live.
Do it bitching.
Yeah, it was. We're only gonna live about an hour and a half, an hour. And again, we're gonna choose two people to go at it about this Kobe MJ thing because now y'all got me thinking about it. We got to figure this one out. We're gonna talk about the game a little bit, but hey, appreciate everybody for stopping in. Appreciate the panel for chiming in. Appreciate. Make sure Hebrew. Did you put your email in the private chat?
Hey, yeah, I'll put that in right now, man.
Yeah, type that in so I have it because we got to get you that gift card. So, hey, congratulations to Hebrew for being one of the first winners of our live debates, man. And but that's all. That's why it's called FYF debates, man. We here to debate, man. And again, as long as you don't get personal. Yeah, that's what it means. F your feelings, man. No feelings involved. Bring facts only. Hey, and that's why Hebrew won. He came with the facts. Even I feel like Sixers Daily could have made. He actually had the advantage. He had more in his arsenal to use to defend Kobe, and he did. There was a lot he didn't use there. So I mean, just make sure you come with a few more facts, man. Be ready, because man, these debates can pop up anytime. But hey, you guys enjoy the game. We'll be back after the game for about an hour and a half, 2 hours to chop it up about MJ and Kobe. That's going to be the next topic for the night, man. All right, but salute to everybody.
Here, brother.
Hey, we out.
All right, later.
Peace out.
Hey, peace, man.